Hi, this is John, and welcome to this episode of From Empathy to Transformation. Today, we're going to be talking about swimming in the blue ocean. The content is sort of based on a book called Blue Ocean Strategy, and if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. This should be on the bookshelf of every entrepreneur, every founder. The inspiration for this approach came from my friend Ashley Welch. With her and her partner, Justin Jones, they've written a book called Naked Sales, How Design Thinking Reveals Customer Motives and Drives Revenue. Two great resources, highly recommended. Now, how do you get started? As a founder or as an entrepreneur, your startup, you have some capability, and you're trying to figure out if your prospects want it or need it. And so on this graph, I represent the founder or the startup's capability on the horizontal axis and the prospect's needs on the vertical axis. So as somebody trying to sell, we could go out and prospect and try to identify the need. Typically, we ask them. And the prospect will tell us that, the 5 or 6 needs represented by these red dots on the vertical axis. And then we, in turn, would tell them what we do, and we would map what we do to what we think they need. There's a problem there. There's a big problem there. You're now in the bloody red ocean, and you don't want to be swimming in the red ocean. The red ocean is full of sharks. It's full of competitors that are beating each other up on feature function, and there's a huge pressure to reduce prices to win the business. How have organizations typically tried to get out of the red ocean? Well, they tend to try to sell additional capability, whether it be value add, something else that the other competitors don't do. The problem with that approach is the prospect now doesn't think they need that additional capability, and so they perceive it as additional costs and, in many cases, additional complexity. So now you're in a real conundrum. You're in this bloody red ocean. You're being eaten alive by the sharks. Clients aren't interested in your additional capability, and you're trying to figure out how to swim through this shark-infested waters and get into the blue ocean where it's peaceful and lovely and there's little competition and the price points aren't as sensitive. How do you do that? You try to start with the problems and the needs that the prospect does not know they have. In other words, you got to uncover the unconsidered needs. This is a bit of a tricky wicket because you're trying to figure out what the prospect needs when they don't even know what they need. But this is essentially how innovation works. Anything that's innovative typically starts with the buyer not knowing they actually need it. It's really up to the entrepreneur or the startup to figure that out, the unconsidered needs. So if you can start to uncover those unconsidered needs and you can map your product or service to them, now you're in a blue ocean and you're selling something that's of value. So that's in a nutshell. Always try to swim in the blue ocean, and I appreciate you listening to this edition of Human-Centric Design for Entrepreneurs and Startups. Thank you.